The title of the talk today is Pilate's Problem.
今天要跟大家分享的题目是彼拉多的难题。
And because we're going through a lot of passages, there's an insert in your bulletin today which helps you so that we don't have to be flipping all over the book.
今天我们会有很多的经文，所以在你手中有这个讲义，请你翻出来，我们会照着这个经文。
Now, oftentimes on Sundays we read out the Apostles' Creed.
常常当我们主日在一起的时候，我们大家一起念这个使徒信经。
And we won't read it over again today, but it talks about what it is that the Christian profess as our set of core beliefs.
呀，这个使徒信经呢，事实上就是告诉我们基督徒所信仰的中心。
It mentions, of course, God the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost.
在这里当然提到圣父、主耶稣基督以及圣灵。
It also mentions two individuals.
在这里也提到两个人。
One is the Virgin Mary.
有一个人是童贞女玛利亚。
The other is this guy Pontius Pilate.
另外一个叫本丢比拉多。
So who is this man?
今天我们要看一下，就是本丢比拉多这个人到底是谁。
What he has done and what we can learn from him.
到底他做了什么？我们可以从他的身上学到什么？
Yeah. Now we do know some things about him.
我们对于他有一点点认识。
These are some artists' depiction of who he might have looked like. Of course, they were just imagining.
事实上，这一切有一些艺术家所想象中，可能他是这个样子。
We do know something. For example, he was mentioned in all four Gospels.
但有一些事实我们知道，就是这一个人在4个福音书都有提到他。
And even outside of the New Testament, we have sources that talk about him.
事实上，在新约福音之外，有其他的一些资料提到他。
Josephus, who is a first-century Jewish historian, talked about him.
那个犹太第1世纪的历史学家 Josephus 有提到他。
Philo of Alexandria is another historian that wrote about him.
还有另外一个叫 Philo Alexandria 也写到他。
So history agrees that he was the curator or the Roman governor in charge of Judea at the time of Jesus.
所以历史以及圣经都提到他是耶稣基督那个时候，罗马派的掌管犹太的总督。
In fact, we're fairly precise about when he was in charge. He was in charge from 26 AD to 36 AD.
事实上，他是当总督的年龄是的时间是非常清楚，是主后26到36年。
This has always been passed down to us, but in 1961, there was actually an archaeological discovery that corroborated with it.
以前这些都是历史上告诉我们的，但是在1961年找到的这个东西证实这个事实。
Yeah. So in the town of Caesarea, where actually the governor of Rome used to have his place, they found this tablet that they now call the Pilate Stone.
所以以前犹大总督所在的那个地方叫 Caesarea Philippi， 他们找到了这一块石头。
It was actually part of an old building, and in there it described, mentioned by name, Pontius Pilate, who was the prefect of Judea between 26 to 36
所以在这一块石头上，我们看到那里讲到本丢比拉多就是犹太的总督，主后26到36年。
We know that in 36 AD he was called back to Rome because he was having some problems.
我们知道36年的时候，他被罗马叫回去，因为有一些问题。
There was an uprising, Samaritan uprising, and he suppressed it with a very heavy hand.
那时候撒玛利亚有一些革命，所以他就镇压了他们，但镇压的手段非常的激烈。
So he was called back to Rome for trial.
所以罗马政府就把他叫回去，而且来审判他。
But the emperor Tiberius actually died before he could go to trial. So Tiberius was called him back. So in 37 AD he was released, and then we don't know what happened to him.
所以那个时候罗马帝王叫做 Tiberius， 是这个把他叫回罗马受审的。但那一个君王先死了，36年死了。然后我们知道主后37年他被释放，释放以后什么事我们都不知道。
In many ways, he was a very common man. He was an upper middle bureaucrat in the Roman structure.
在很多方面，他是一个很普通的人，也是罗马帝国那个时候中上级的一个官员。
But for a very brief moment, he held center stage in human history.
但是在人类历史非常短暂的一刻，他却站在历史的中心舞台。
In this very ordinary life, in many other ways undistinguished, his life intersected with Jesus' life. and he was preserved in history.
这个非常普通的一个生命，却是在那一刻与耶稣基督相会，使他成为历史上一个大家不忘的人物。
Yes, exactly. So what I want to do today is just to take us through the Bible, just walk through his day.
所以今天我要跟大家分享的就是他与耶稣基督相会那一天所发生的事情。
I just want God's word to just speak to us.
我希望神的话向我们每一个人说话。
Just weigh the evidence to see what he sees and try to understand the problem he faced.
在我们心里衡量一下那一天比拉多所看到的事情，以及他内心的心路历程。
And maybe see some similarities of his problem and our problem today.
可能比拉多所面对的一些问题，今天也在我们的生命里面。
So if I refer to you, I will put the verses up on top, but it might be a little hard for you to see. So please follow with me in your handout.
我把经文也打在这个上面，但是可能你手中的这一个讲义比较清楚，所以希望你能跟着这个讲义看。
Most of what I will talk about will come from John chapter 18 and 19.
我今天所要讲主要的经文是约翰福音18跟19章。
But Luke 23 and Matthew 27 also figured in here.
但是路加福音23章以及马太福音27章，我们今天也会看到。
So we'll piece the pieces together.
我们今天就是把所有的经文综合起来。
Let's start with John 18:28.
我们今天一开始先看一下约翰福音第18章28到
28 to
31节。
31. It started very early in the morning that day, so Friday morning. The Jews took Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace of the Roman governor.
所以我们要讲的那一天就是礼拜五的那一天，就是耶稣那个礼拜五那一天，非常非常早。大祭司一群人就把耶稣带到比拉多那里。
We know that it is in Jerusalem and that Pilate was actually staying in Jerusalem.
知道他们的相会是在耶路撒冷，而在那一天，比拉多在耶路撒冷。
Now that's not his usual residence. Usually he's in a city called Caesarea. But because it's Jerusalem, because it's Passover, he had to come and show up. He had to keep the order.
我们知道平常他不在耶路撒冷，他是在自己的宫殿，是在塞斯瑞芬海。但是因为那是一个逾越节，所以他需要在耶路撒冷。
Right. And it was very early in the morning.
在这里讲到天还早。
There's a whole bit of commotion. A crowd of Jews showed up at his door.
在他的门口有一大群吵吵嚷嚷的犹太人来了。
You know that he doesn't feel good waking up in the morning with these guys at his door.
你可以想象比拉多那天早上心情不太好，一醒来门口就一大堆犹太人在吵。
He doesn't like the Jews. He'd rather be in Caesarea.
因为他不喜欢犹太人，他巴不得自己再回到自己的宫殿。
Yeah, but and these Jews, they don't like him either. They don't even want to walk into his house because they think he's unclean.
但这犹太人也不喜欢他，甚至觉得他不洁净，他们甚至不愿意进他的房子。
Yeah, and so Pilate goes out to them. Pilate says, "What charges are you bringing?" So he noticed that they have a prisoner.
所以比拉多就走出了门口，就对这些犹太人，因为他注意到这里有一个犯人，所以就问他们要什么。
Yeah, and they said, and their answer is just the way the Jews answer.
他们的回答就是犹太人那种态度。
They said, if he's not a criminal, we wouldn't have handed him to you.
这个人如果不是作恶的，我们也不会把他交给你。
He says, oh, typical, rude, insolent Jewish response.
哇，他说就是典型的犹太人那种非常没有礼貌的回答。
He kind of started to wish for his home back in Caesarea.
这个时候他更想他在塞斯瑞亚的家了。
At least he had his wife with him on this trip,
但至少他带着他太太来一起到
as
耶
we
路
will
撒
see
冷。
later.
我们等一下可以看得到。
And then Pilate says, well, why don't you just take care of it yourself?
比拉多就说：“你们自己带他去嘛，
Judge by your laws.
按照你们的律法来办吧。”
But they said, we have no right to execute anyone.
但犹太人说：“我们没有杀人的权利。”
Uh-oh, this is an execution.
对，这是一个大问题，因为他们想让这个人被判死罪。
So now he knows this is going to be a bad day.
所以他现在比拉多知道说，今天真的是一个不顺利的一天。
What he may not know is that these Jews have already had a long night.
但比拉多可能不太知道的是，这些犹太人已经一夜都在那儿搞了。
You know that by reading the other passages that they have already tried Jesus in front of the Sanhedrins, in front of Caiaphas.
从其他的经文我们可以看到，那个大祭司以及犹太公会已经审过了耶稣。
Yeah, they remember Caiaphas tore his robe and And then they finally decided to take him to the Romans early in the morning.
呀，大家记不记得该亚法把自己的袍子撕了，然后一大清早把耶稣带到比拉多这里？
Yeah. So in fact, if you cooperate by reading Luke 23, you find that these Jews actually had more charges against Jesus.
如果我们看一下路加福音23章，在这里讲的更清楚，犹太人控告耶稣什么？
They accused him of saying, number one, that he subverted the nation, he opposed to paying taxes, and he claimed to be Christ the King.
所以在这里讲的，他是第一，他是诱惑国民；第二，禁止纳税给该撒；第三个说自己是基督是王。
Now Pilate is no fool.
比拉多并不是一个笨蛋。
He says subverting our nation, opposing taxes. These guys are the same as him. They don't like taxes. They don't like this nation.
他就想一下，诱惑国民，禁止纳税，这一些人都是这一群的，没有一个人喜欢罗马
He
帝
looks
国。
around these Jews and he says, oh, must be something else going on.
所以他看了这些犹太人，他心里在想，一定有些其他的问题。
But this thing that he's a king, that I have to figure out.
但这一个说他自己是王这件事，比拉多必须要来看一下。
Because if Caesar finds out that some Jewish king was in his hands, right, some Messiah, and he let him go, that may not go well.
因为他在想，如果该撒知道，就是说那个罗马帝王，如果知道有一个什么犹太王在他的手下给逃脱了，那这个他可有问题了。
So then in John 18:33, he goes back inside.
所以约翰福音18章在这里就讲到说，比拉多进到他自己的屋子，
He calls Jesus forward and says, are you the king of the Jews?
他把耶稣叫了进去，就问了他说：“你是犹太人的王
He's
吗
very focused on this idea of the king.？”
所以他的焦点就是在看耶稣到底是不是王。
Jesus' reply is not direct.
但耶稣的回答不是直接
He
的，
says, is this your idea or somebody tell you about this?
他说：“这是你自己的想法，还是别人告诉你的
Now, Pilate responds impatient.？”
所以比拉多非常不耐烦的这样回答
He says, am I a Jew? He says, do I look like a Jew?
他说：“我岂是犹太人？”
He says, of course it's your people and your chief priests who handed you over to me.
他说：“是你本国的人和祭司长把你交给我的。
So what is it that you have done?
到底你做了什么事
Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world.？”
耶稣回答说：“我的国不属这世界。
In other words, I do have a kingdom, ”
事实上，耶稣说：“我有一个国，
but it's not what you think.
但这个国不是你所想象的。
If it were, then my servants would be here fighting for me.
如果是这个世上的话，我的臣仆必要为我征战
He。says, my kingdom is from another place.
但是我的国度是在另外一个地方。
You can see Pilate's very focused. He says, you're a king then.
所以你可以看到比拉多的那个，就是那个单向想法，就说：“哦，那你是一个王。”
Jesus said, you were right in saying I'm a king.
但耶稣就说：“你说的是，我是一个王
In。fact, I was born to be king.
事实上，我为此而生，
And I came into this world to testify to the truth.
我也为此来到世间，特要为真理做见证。
Everyone outside of truth listens to me.
凡属真理的人就听我的话。”
This is a great response.
你知道这是一个很好的回
He
应。
said, everyone on the side of truth listens to me.
他说：“任何是凡是属于真理的人，他们就会听我的。”
But Pilate didn't hear the good stuff.
但是比拉多根本没有听到这个好的内
He
涵。
says, what is truth?
他的回应就是真理是什么？
In fact, if he had the right heart, that would have been a good question.
但是如果他的心态是对的话，这个是一个对他很好的
All
问
through
题。
history, the greatest minds want to know what is truth.
因为整个的历史，很多人都想要知道到底真理是什么。
And in fact, there's no better person to ask than the guy in front of him.
事实上，这个问题他最好的问的一个人，就是面对他的这个人。
But of course, he was not asking with that tone.
但是他当然不是以一种就是那种心态来问。
It's more like, what is truth?
但是他的态度可能是很挖苦的在讲说真理是什么。
He's in fact saying, is your truth the same as my truth?
他问的是你的真理跟我的真理一样吗？
What is this? What's truth? This is philosophy.
他就说什么是真理？哦，原来你是搞哲学的。
Yeah, so he says, oh, okay, this is the philosophy king.
所以他心里在想，哦，这是一个哲学的王，
Well, then he's harmless.
所以他就对我们一点害处都没
But
有。
he certainly has no military threat. He's not powerful.
这个人反正没有军队，没有很大的能力。
So he goes back out. He says, I don't find any basis for a charge against this guy.
所以比拉多就走出去了，就跟那些犹太人说，我查不出他有什么罪来。
Yeah. So he's pigeonholed Jesus as some sort of philosophical king.
所以他就把耶稣局限在某一种哲学上的王。
But I want to take a little departure at this moment.
但是在这一刻，我想跟大家谈一下，
Focus on this question: what is truth?
我们大家来针对这一个问题，
There is
真理是什么？
a woman that by the name of Joy Davidman.
这有一个人名叫做 David。
She is probably not known to that many of you, but in fact, she is a poet and an American author.
实际上可能不太多人认得出他，他是一个美国的作家以及诗人。
You may know her if I tell you that she is the wife of C.S. Lewis.
但是如果大家知道他是 C.S. Lewis 的妻子，
You know, C.S. Lewis did not marry until quite late in his life.
大家知道 C.S. Lewis 到年龄蛮大的时候才结婚的。
Joy used to be an atheist, but she became a Christian.
这个妇女 Joy 以前是一个无神论，但后来成为一个基督徒。
After she knew she had cancer, C.S. Lewis decided to marry her anyway.
当他知道他有癌症的时候 ，C.S. Lewis 决定还是要跟他结婚。
And among all her works, probably the best known is his book called Smoke on the Mountain.
在他所有的作品中，可能这个是最有名的，这个叫做《山上的烟雾》。
In Smoke on the Mountain, she talked about the 10 Commandments, one after another.
这本书是在讲10诫。
And in chapter 9, which is the one about lying, like false, what, true and not true.
在第9章，在那里讲的谎言，就是你说的是真的还是不是真的那个。
She reflected on Pilate and his dilemma.
他就想到了比拉多以及比拉多的难题。
And I quote here, she says, we must understand Pilate to understand ourselves.
他这个样说，如果我们想要认识我们自己，我们必须要先认识比拉多。
For he, that is Pilate, may have represented a very modern view that truth is, after all, a relative and subjective affair.
因为比拉多象征着这一个时代对于真理的想法，就是真理是相对性的，而不是绝对性。
An agreed upon convention, a matter of expediency, and that therefore we are justified in doing anything that seemed expedient, even as Pilate did.
就像现代的想法一样，我们对于真理的决定，就是要看什么事对我们方便，就像比拉多那个时候的想决定一样。
你懂吗？他在讲什么？ You got it, right? Have you ever heard this before? This line of argument?
你有没有听到有人有这个样跟你讲过？
Some people say, you Christians think there is absolute truth, but all truth is relative.
你有没有听过别人这个样讲？你们基督徒就说你们这是真理，但是我告诉你，真理只不过是相对的。
Is your truth the same as my truth?
你的真理跟我的真理一样吗？
You are beholden to a certain set of rules. I'm beholden to my own.
你有你那一套的规则，我有我这一套的规则。
Davidman, in that chapter, systematically dissects this argument.
所以 Davidman 在那一章的时候，就非常系统性的把我们这个世间的想法破解出
She
来。
says it is impossible, and C.S. Lewis made the same argument in Mere Christianity. It is impossible for us to actually believe that we all live in a different moral world, that my truth is not your truth.
事实上，他说是不可能让我们每一个人都活在这样一个现象，就是你的真理就是你的真理，我的真理就是我的真理，这个样一个道德的社会是不可能的。
Truth is truth.
因为真理就是真理。
There's truth in the physical realm, and there's truth in the moral realm.
在物理的世界，我们知道有一些规则，有一些真理。
For example, in the physical realm, we know that, don't put a bare hand on a hot stove. That's truth.
比方说，在物理的世界，我们知道你不要就这个空的手放在一个很烫的炉子上面。
Don't go bungee cord jumping with unless you have a strong rope. That's truth.
你不要那个从空中跳下来，除非你身上有个绳子绑着你。
Yeah, tough rope, right?
一个很强的绳。
Those are moral laws, and if we violate, those are physical laws. If we violate them, we get hurt.
这是物质世界的一些规律，如果你不跟着这些规律，你就会有不好的结果。
It's always been true also in the right and wrong, the moral code that God wrote in our hearts.
但是神把这个道德放在我们的心上，事实上是有对也有错的。
Yeah. So here's an illustration that Timothy Keller used in one of his sermons.
我给你一个例子，是 Timothy Keller 有一次在他的讲道用的。
He said that, suppose you're a tennis player and you have amnesia.
比方说你是一个网球家，但是你就突然失去了记忆。
That is to say, you were a great tennis player, but you forgot it.
就是你是一个很好的棒球明星，但是你忘记你自己。
One day somebody puts you on a tennis court, puts a racket in your hand.
就有一天有人把你放在网球场，给了你一个网球拍，
And they just smash the tennis ball to you.
然后他们就打了一个球给你，
And you just react and you go whack, one hand, backhand, right to the corner.
然后你就反应了，回了一个球。
Everybody sits down and says, look, only 2 or 3 people in the whole world could do that.
每一个人都很惊讶，说：“哇，这个回的球，全世界只有2、3个人可能这样回法。”
I said, yeah, how about that? I didn't even know I could do that.
但你自己呢，就说：“哎呀，真的，我不知道哎，为什么我这样做
Let me give you, so hang on to that thought.？”
所以大家想记得这个。
Now let's suppose something happens in your life.
我们假设有一些事情在你身上发生。
Let's suppose somebody does something. Like let's say I just punch, who's a big guy here? I just punch maybe Elder Sue in the face really hard. Sorry, I won't do that. But let's just imagine that.
呀，就是说，有一天突然我就走到你面前，一拳打了你，
No reason. I just punch him.
没有任何的原因。
Now maybe he will, punch me back and kill me. Okay? But if we have no moral right or wrong, one thing you cannot say is I did something wrong.
可能你的反应就是打回我，但是如果这个世界没有道德标准的话，有一件事你不能说我的，就是你说我这样做是错的。
But it feels wrong.
但是我们大家都知道这不对。
There are many examples like this.
事实上有很多这样的例子。
There's a bunch of people recently who grab some other people, kill them because they're not believers. They cut their heads off in front of the world.
我们也知道最近有一些人把一些人抓起来，然后在全世界的人面前把他们的头给割掉，就是因为觉得那些人所相信的跟自己不一样。
If everyone follows a different law, we can't say what's right and wrong.
因为如果每一个人都跟着自己的道德真理的话，我们实在说这世界没有对没有错。
But there is wrong. It is wrong.
但是我们大家都知道他们那样做是错的。
It is wrong to capture a bunch of people, separate out the male and the female, divide up the female, and then ceremonially, systematically rape them.
我们大家都知道，抓了一群人，然后把男的跟女的分开来，然后把女的放在一边来强奸他们。我们都知道这是错的。
It is wrong even if you pray before you do it and pray after you do it.
事实上，你在强奸他之前祷告，强奸之后祷告，我们还是知道这是错的。
How do we know it's wrong?
你怎么知道这个是错的？
When you react that way, it's like the tennis player coming out inside you. You
当你
understand?
感觉到它是错的时候，你就是像那个网球明星一样，你就这个样从里面反应出
The
来。
ball comes at you and you just hit it back.
而这个球打到你这边，你就会把它打回去。
What is true is true, what is not true is not true.
因为什么是真的就是真的，什么不是真的就不是。
There is a truth,
我们知道有一个真理，
and it does matter.
而这个真理对我们是非常重要的。
So Pilate says, what is truth?
所以当比拉多说真理是什么的时
So
候，
he goes about his business.
所以他就继续的。
Let's go back to the story.
我们回到这个
Yeah, in Luke 23,
在路加福音23章，
in chapter 4,
在第23章第4节，
Pilate goes out and says, I don't find any basis for charge.
比拉多对祭司长和众人说：“我查不出这人有什么罪来。”
But they said, oh, but he's stirring up people all over Judea. He started in Galilee and has come all the way here.
但他们越发的说，他煽惑百姓在犹太遍地传道，从加利利起，直到这里了。
Oh, hearing this, Pilate said, is he a Galilean?
所以比拉多一听见就问了说：“这个人是加利利人吗？”
You can see his mind thinking.
你可以想到比拉多的脑筋就在动了。
He says, hey, Herod Antipas, he is in charge of Galilee.
他又想到哦，希律王他是管那个加利利的，
And he is in town because this is Passover. He's going to be right over there. I'm going to send him over.
我知道希律王现在也在耶路撒冷，我可以把这个人送到那里去。
I look like I did him a favor and I passed his hot potato.
这个样子，我把这手中辣手的这个东西给了希律。
And you just watch him go. Like this guy just doesn't want this business, right? This is a bad problem. He doesn't want it.
你可以看到希律王，你可以看到比拉多真的不想要来面对耶稣这个辣手的问题。
In verse 8, we see that turns out Herod is happy that Jesus came.
我们看到第8节，希律王事实上很高兴耶稣来了，
Because he'd been waiting a long time to see him.
因为他等了很久，想要看
He
耶
was
稣，
kind of hoping to see some miracles.
因为他希望耶稣来行点
So
事
he
情，
plied him with a lot of questions.
所以他就问了他很多问
But
题，
Jesus gave him no answers.
但耶稣却一言不答。
Yeah. So I don't know if you ever seen the musical Jesus Christ Superstar.
我不知道大家有没有看到一个音乐剧叫做《Jesus Christ Superstar》。
It was very popular when I was growing up. It was like high school and college time.
在我们高中的时候，这个非常流行。
Now Herod is not a nice guy, right? This guy beheaded John the Baptist. He was historically cruel.
我们知道希律王是一个非常残忍的人，因为他也把施洗约翰给杀了。
But he wanted to see some miracles.
但是他想看神迹。
So in Jesus Christ Superstar, the man who played Herod, he sings this song.
所以在我刚刚讲的那个音乐剧《Jesus Christ Superstar》，这个演希律的那个人唱了一首歌，
He's singing, he's dancing. He
一
says,
边唱一边跳。
"So you are the Christ. You're the great Jesus Christ.
他说：“哦，原来你就是耶稣，那个了不起的耶稣。
Prove to me that you're divine. Change my water into wine."
来证明一下你的神性，把我的水变为酒吧。
He says, "If you do that for me, then I'll let you go free.
如果你这样做的话，我就释放你。”
Come on, King of the Jews.
他说：“犹太的王来做一下，显一手吧，
Prove to me that you're no fool. Walk across my swimming pool."
赶快来显一手，在我的游泳池上走过去。”
Yeah. Jesus didn't.
但是耶稣却一言不答。
You know, I tell you the times when I get very frustrated because God didn't like, you know, like, I say, oh God, why don't you just like do something?
有时候我也会觉得很丧气，当我要神显一手的时候，他好像就无言以答。
Yeah. But Jesus was silent like a lamb led to slaughter, as Isaiah described.
但是耶稣却一言不发，像一个羊一样被带去割宰，宰割。
God does not always perform miracles, especially not for your entertainment.
神不是随时随刻都显神迹，尤其不是用神迹来让你开心。
Yeah, but it does seem like He will show His miracles to those who seek the truth.
但是如果你真的寻找真理的话，你会看见他的神迹。
It is very much what the mathematician Blaise Pascal said.
就像数学家 Blaise Pascal 所说的，
He said there's always sufficient light for those whose inclination is towards God, and there's always sufficient darkness for those whose inclination is to the contrary.
如果你的心是寻求神的话，你就会有足够的亮光来找到他；但如果你的心是不寻求他的话，你也会有足够的黑暗来证明。
You know, if God wants to like overpower us with His miracles,
如果神就是要他的神迹来这样震我们一下，
it's like He says, "Okay, let's arm wrestle. You know, ready, go." There is no arm wrestle.
就好像跟你比力气一下，神跟你比力气，一定是他赢。
But God does not do that.
但神不这个样做。
From the beginning, from Genesis 3, He did not force man.
从创世纪第3章我们就看到他没有force
He does not bribe. He does not coerce.
他不哄你，他也不贿赂你，他也不勉强你，
He gave us real choice.
他真的是给了我们选择。
Now, sometimes I wish He didn't give me so much choice.
有时候我们但愿他不要给我们这么多选择。
But indeed, He seems to have given us a space in our heart, which He does not claim by hostile takeover.
但是他给我们每一个人心里有这么一个空间，他不会强夺过来。
Anyway, Jesus did not perform those miracles.
所以我们看到耶稣并没有行神迹。
So in verse 11, Herod and his soldiers ridiculed him and mocked him and sent him back.
所以第11节，希律和他的兵丁就藐视耶稣，戏弄他，把他送回到比拉多那里。
So the show switches back to Pilate's palace.
所以现在继续的这一场戏又回到了比拉多那里去。
So Pilate says, look, even Herod, in verse 15, says, not even Herod finds anything that deserves death.
所以在15节他就这样说，希律也是如此，把他送回来，可见他没有做什么该死的事。
In Gospel of John mentions this. He says, actually, he had this other idea.
约翰福音第18章告诉我们说，现在比拉多又动了另外一个脑
He
筋。
says, hey, this is Passover, and I'm the governor, and I'm allowed to release one prisoner.
他说：“哎，这个是逾越节，我又是总督，我有这个权柄释放一个犯人。”
So he offers to release Barabbas.
所以他就跟犹太人说：“这个样吧，我释放他好吗？”
So, but Luke 23, this is the way that the crowd responded.
但是路加福音在反过来那1页23说，这个众人却是这个样的反应。
Barabbas is a crook and a murderer.
他们说要释放巴拉巴，虽然我们知道巴拉巴是一个坏蛋，而且是一个谋杀人的，
But the people wanted Jesus crucified.
但是因犹太人要耶稣钉十字架，
You could feel the tension building.
你可以感觉到那边那个张力是越来越大。
In verse 22, he says, for the third time, he said to the crowd,
第23章22节说，比拉多第3次对他们说
why?
为什么
What crime has he committed?
这人做了什么恶事呢？
And then he says, I will punish him and then release him.
然后他就想着说，好吧，那我打他一顿吧，这个样我就可以释放。
See, the problem is escalating.
所以因为问题现在越来越大，越来越严重。
He's running out of elegant methods to deal with it.
他现在没有一些很好的、优美的方法来解决这个问题。
If I can't be elegant, then I'll get ugly.
说如果没有办法用优美的方法，我就用很丑陋
So
的
I
方
will beat
法，
him up.
我把他大打一
I'll
顿，
mock him. And,
然后藐视他。
why does he do that?
他为什么要这个样做？
Because he thought maybe this will make him happy. He'll go away.
因为他以为如果这个样做的话，犹太人可能就会让耶稣走。
So John 19 says Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged.
所以约翰福音19章告诉我们说，比拉多就将耶稣鞭打了。
He formed a crown of thorns, put him on his head, put him in a purple robe, and struck him in the face.
并用荆棘编做了冠冕，戴在他头上，给他穿上紫袍，又挨近他，用手打。
Then comes this very interesting little episode,
然后在这里
little interlude.
非常有趣的另外一个资料，
Only in Matthew.
只有在马太福音。
Matthew 27 says, while he was sitting in the judge's seat, his wife sent him a message.
马太福音27章19节说，当比拉多坐在他的那个堂上的时候，他的太太
He gets this message from his wife. Says, don't have anything to do with that innocent man.
跟他说，这个异人是你一点不可管，
For I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him.
因为今晚在梦中我为他受了很多苦。
Somehow she felt something.
突然，他的太太好像有一些感
She
觉，
knew this man is innocent.
他知道这个人是无辜的，
Yeah, this is another warning.
所以这个又是对比拉多另外的一个警告。
I'm telling you, when we go down the wrong path, God gives us many ways to tell us.
告诉你，当我们走错路的时候，神会有很多不同的方法来警告我们，告诉你，
How would you feel at that moment
在那一刻你会怎么样？
if you were weighing the evidence along with this warning? How would you decide?
如果那个时候你再衡量一下你手中的证据，又听到了这个警告，你会怎么样反应呢？
Yeah, so Pilate goes back to the crowd.
所以比拉多又走出来了，
He
面
comes
对
out
众
in
人，
front of the Jews. He says, look. And then he brings Jesus out.
然后他就把耶稣带了出来。
Jesus is wearing a crown of thorns and a purple robe,
耶稣那个时候穿着紫袍子，头上戴着荆棘冠冕，
probably bloody.
可能全身都是血。
He says, behold the man.
说看啊，这个人，
Famous line. Here is the man. And this is your man.
这是非常有名的一句话。你们看这个人，
There was a very famous painting.
这是一个
It's
非
called
常
Behold the Man.
有一幅画，它的名字就是你们看这个人。
He thought maybe they would be pleased,
他就以为说，可能犹太人就觉得已经够了，
but he gazed around.
但是他却猜错了，
The crowd was even louder.
而这个群众却越喊越大声，
Crucify, crucify.
钉他十字架，钉他十字架。
He says, you take him and crucify. For me, I don't find any charge against him. This is like the 6th time he said that.
所以比拉多就回答说：“你们自己去钉十字架吧，我查不出他有什么罪来。”
The Jews, they were expecting someone to show out the Romans, and suddenly their hero looks like a powerless man.
犹太人他们在等的弥赛亚是一个有能力的人，把罗马人打败的，却看到这样一个软弱的人站在 呢？
We don't like to back losers.
因为我们不喜欢打输的人。
You know, you cheer for a football team until they lose, then you're not interested in them anymore.
如果是说加油的那个足球队输了，你们就对他没兴趣。
The Jews in verse 7 says, interesting, so we have a law. According to the law, he must die because he claimed to be the Son of God.
犹太人第7节这样说：我们有律法，按照律法他是该死的，因为他以自己为神的儿子。
Yeah, so the escalation is continuing.
所以现在这个问题越搞越大。
But this is something new.
但对比拉多，这是新的资料。
Son of God.
他是神的儿子。
He's not just a philosopher king.
他不光是哲学上的一个王。
Maybe he's dealing with something bigger than himself here, Pilate thinks.
所以比拉多就想说：哇，这个问题可能是我可能没有办法应付的。
Maybe this guy is even bigger than Caesar.
可能这个人要比凯撒还要大呢。
So suddenly he had this weird feeling.
所以他心里就开始发毛。
Verse 8 says he was afraid.
第8节告诉我们说，比拉多听见这话，越发害怕。
Maybe it was his wife's warning.
可能是他太太给他的警告。
Maybe it's his own conscience.
可能是他自己的良知。
Maybe it's because Jesus was so calm.
也许是因为耶稣是这么样的安详。
He went back into the corner.
他就跑回了他自己的那个角落。
It's verse 9 says he went inside.
第9节告诉我们说，他进了衙门。
He says, "Where do you come from?"
就问耶稣说：“你到底从哪里来的？”
Jesus gave no answer.
但耶稣却不回答。
He's frustrated.
所以他就觉得非常的烦躁。
Do you refuse to speak to me? Don't you realize I have power either to free you or to crucify you?
你不对我说话吗？你岂不知道我有权柄释放你，也有权柄把你钉十字
He
架？
says, "Don't you get it? I've got the power here."
他说：“难道你不知道吗？是我有权柄。”
Jesus says, "You would have no power over me if you were not given that."
19章11节，耶稣回答说：“若不是从上头赐给你的，你就毫无权柄办。”
And then he says, "Therefore the one who handed me over to you is guilty of greater sin."
所以把我交给你的那人罪更重。
So there it is, talking about sin and guilt again.
所以在这里又讲到罪了。
Here is the funny thing.
这是很奇怪的事。
We often come before God and we think we are judging God.
我们常常来到神的面前，我们觉得我们在审判神。
C.S. Lewis has a book called God in the Dock.
C.S. 路就写这本书叫《God in the Dock》。
You say, "Come on, prove to me something."
也就跟神说：“你来给我证明一下。”
If you are worthy, if you work, 你灵我就信你。Right? But then God says, "You know what? You are in the dock."
但神却告诉我们说：“是你在受审判。”
Do you see that reversal in the role? The interrogator has become the prisoner. The prisoner has become the interrogator.
你在这里有没有看到比拉多跟耶稣的地位反过来了？那个责问的那一个人，现在反而变成一个被问的人。
Jesus, you have no power except for what's given to you, and truth is still truth.
耶稣告诉我说，告诉他说，这个权柄若不是给了你，你就毫无权柄。真理还是真理。
You know, here is the unfortunate dilemma. This is Pilate's problem.
所以在这里，这真的是比拉多的难题。
You know, if he was just totally without conscience, life would be easy.
如果他是完全没良心的人，一切都简单了。
What is truth?
什么是真理？
Forget about your truth, you know. I've got the power, I'm going to go take care of you.
反正，哎呀，你的真理到一旁去吧，我有这个权柄，我来治你。
If he was totally good, it would be okay too.
但是如果比拉多是完全是好的，也没有问题。
He would say, "Oh, this guy's innocent. Forget you guys. I'm going back to bed."
他说：“呀，这个人是无辜的，所以你们这群人走。”
But he wants to be good, he can't be good. He struggles between being good and bad.
所以他就是想做好，却做不出来，他就在这两个中间挣扎。
He finds no peace.
他在里面没有平安。
So then in verse 12,
第12节。
it says, verse 12, really interesting. He says, from then on, it's okay. You just look at verse 12 down here. From then on, he really tried to set Jesus free.
从此，比拉多想要释放耶稣。
Are you kidding? He was trying to set him free all day long.
他实在是试了好多次了。
But the crowd kept shouting, "If you let this man go, you are no friend of Caesar."
无奈犹太人喊着说：“你若释放这个人，就不是该撒的忠仆或者朋友。”
Anyone who claims to be king opposes Caesar.
凡以自己为王的，就是背叛该撒。
Well, that sounds like a trump card to him.
对他而言，这个可能是最重的一击了，
Everything depends on Caesar.
因为他这一生就是要靠你凯撒，
So he just takes him out.
所以在这个时候，他就把耶稣带出来了。
And then in Matthew 27 mentions something really interesting again.
马太福音27章在这里提到这件事。
He says, when Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, instead there was an uproar, he took water, washed his hands in front of the crowd. He said, I'm innocent of this man's blood. It's your responsibility.
彼拉多见说也无济于事，反要生乱，就拿水在众人面前洗手，说：“流这一人的血，罪不在我，你们承担吧。”
啊，好可怜，人都好可怜。His problem he cannot solve, but he wants to wash his hands.
彼拉多的问题，他们自己没有办法解决，但他却想把手洗干净、洗掉。
You can't wash your hands. Well, you can wash your hands, but it won't help.
你可以洗手，但对你毫无帮助。
He washed his hands.
他洗了他的手，
And then he allowed the crucifixion to go forward.
然后他就让耶稣去被钉十字架。
In John 19:19,
约翰福音19章19节，
it says he prepared this placard to put over the cross.
彼拉多又用牌子写了一个名号，按在十字架上，
He wrote on it, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews.
写的是犹太人的王，拿撒勒人耶稣。
Yeah, the chief priests protest. They say, don't write King of the Jews. Say, he says he's the King of the Jews.
祭司长就很不高兴，对彼拉多说：“不要写犹太人的王，要写他自己说他是犹太人的王。”
But it's as if Pilate knows what's right.
但好像彼拉多知道什么是对的。
He said, what I have written. He writes it in 3 different languages.
他说：“我所写的我已经写了，而且用3个不同的语言写。”
You know, in many ways we're a lot like Pilate.
有很多地方我们很像彼拉多，
Just like Joy Davidman said, we will not understand ourselves until we understand Pilate.
就像刚刚的女诗人说：“除非我们了解彼拉多，否则我们不了解我们自己。”
Because his great tragedy of Pilate is the tragedy of each of us.
因为彼拉多的悲剧就是我们每一个人的悲剧。
We wish we had no conscience, but we have a conscience.
我们有时候希望自己没有良知，但是我们却有良知。
We wish if we had a conscience that conscience could be clear, but it's not.
但是我们知道自己有良知，我们希望我们良知是清的，但是我们知道它不是。
The Bible says we will have no peace until we have made peace with God.
圣经告诉我们说，除非我们与神和好，我们是不可能有真平安。
We can try to numb our conscience,
我们可以麻木我们的良知，
but we cannot get rid of it.
但是我们没有办法把良知消除掉。
Did you notice during the interrogation,
你注意到，在整个这个审问的这一天，
there was an inside scene and there was an outside scene.
有一个部分是室内的，有一些部分是室外的。
Inside, he is talking to Jesus. Outside, he just hears the roar.
在室内，他单独的与耶稣交谈；在室外的时候，听到一片喧嚷。
In many ways, we have 2 fears in our lives.
事实上，在我们的生命里面，我们也有这2场。
We're afraid of all the things that could go wrong if we surrender our lives to God.
我们就担心，如果我们把生命交给神的话，我们就没有办法控制。
We are afraid of what that could do to our prestige, of our position.
我们担心，如果我们这个样做的话，对我们的地位、对于我们的前途有什么影响？
And then, but inside, we know that Jesus is true.
但是在我们的心里，我们知道耶稣是真的。
And then, look what Pilate did.
你看彼拉多所做的，
It made life very complicated
他的生活变得非常的复杂，
because he wanted to just live for what's on the outside.
因为他想要光为外面的东西而活。
Jesus said, "What's inside is what makes you who you are."
但是耶稣说，你里面的东西才真正的定义你是谁。
I wonder, suppose you were proconsul of Judea that day.
我想你自己问你自己，如果那一天你是在比拉多的这个位置上，
Would you have also crucified?
你也会钉耶稣十字架吗？
That's the great tragedy of life.
这是比拉多的悲剧，
That's why he is written down in history.
这就是为什么历史上一直流传比拉多这个名字。
But we have very good news. We have very good news.
但是我要告诉你好消息，
3 days after this, Jesus, who was killed, was raised from the dead.
当耶稣基督死了以后，第3天他复活了，
That too is truth.
这个也是真理，
That too is reality.
那个也是事实。
And because of that,
但因为这个事实，
all mankind after him have hope.
所有跟随他的人就有盼望。
That we cannot come to peace in our own heart. We can appeal to the God who died for us.
我们自己没有办法给自己找到平安，但我们可以要求那个在十字架上为我们死的神给我们，
And he would forgive us
他会赦免我们，
and give us his life
把他的命给我们，
so that we could really live a life worth living.
我们才能真正活出一个值得活的生命。我们来祷告。